We just went crazy with the sanders. It was a mess.
Now that we're down here, we can look at it and you can see why we're a little confused.
Not good. Not good at all. This is Luperon, Dominican Republic, where we've been for the past few months. Last week, we hauled our boat out of the water for the very first time, and we got right to work with the sanders to remove our top layer of bottom paint.
If you've ever sanded the bottom of a boat, you'll notice instantly that we did not dress appropriately for the job. We had a pretty exciting night of sleep, or no sleep. Learned a valuable lesson in preparation for sanding the bottom of a boat.
Skeptical, but it exists. The dancing sander.
Oh, here it comes. Okay, of course it's cold, but hey, it's running water.
That's the good stuff, huh? Mm-hmm. Don't you like that little bear? Oh,
Look at them. They want in so bad. Oh, just don't go outside of the boat. They're gonna get you. Look at all these no-see-ums. Alright, we just took the floorboards up to take a look at the keel from here in the cabin. You can see there's the keel bolts. We have a little bit of a crack right here that we're going to need to investigate. And then the bolts end here, and it looks like this was repaired. But you can see the bond is coming apart. So we just took this apart to look at it. Some of the viewers just wanted to see what it looks like in here. We're going to continue to stay focused on the sanding and painting, and this is going to be something that we're definitely going to have to tackle while we're out.
So we just sat down to eat our lovely supper, and as you can probably hear, it's pouring outside. Then out of the corner of my eye, I see drip, drip, drip. Not good. Not good at all. Add that to the list.
I will never forget the first boat we looked at. I asked the owner, "Does the boat have any leaks?" To which he responded, "It's a boat! They all leak!" Okay, we still haven't got to the bottom of the keel here, metaphorically speaking. Now, literally, I'm actually touching the bottom of the keel, but that's besides the point. Now that we're down here, we can look at it, and you can see why we're a little confused. Here is metal. There's no fiberglass laid over the metal. It's just metal painted over. Here is fiberglass, hollow with nothing in it. Here you can see a crack between the metal and the hollow layer. And right here we see some sort of a patch, a fiberglass patch that goes up that seems to be connecting these two layers. So there's a few things we're gonna have to figure out before we move forward. on the keel, and we have to get the keel figured out before we start painting. In the meanwhile, we have plenty of scraping to do here to make sure we get all these layers off. We have blisters to Dremel out. We're gonna use the Dremel and get down to fiberglass. So we got all that going, and we're gonna keep our research papers and engineer website designers going and all that. And we're gonna be really perusing Facebook, making sure that we get some good answers on Facebook. And then we're gonna move forward. We have some other wild cards we might throw in the mix that we're not gonna spoil, but just stay tuned. We're gonna get this thing figured out, but we just wanted to catch you up, let you know where we're at right now. One more thing. We drilled a couple holes in the bottom of the keel just to see if any water would come out, and no water did come out. So now we have 2 holes, and that's really, really cool. But it's good to know that there was no water inside. Also, the drill bit went all the way in and it didn't hit anything. We did not find gold or frankincense or myrrh. There was nothing in there, so it's just hollow.
Ooh. So we are slowly uncovering our bottom. It's turned into an archaeological dig site. We're doing a lot of research, trying to find out what we have going on. And so far, we're pretty sure what we're looking at here is some gel coat. The gray layer underneath that, we're pretty sure is a barrier coat. And then this black is a hard bottom paint, and it was covered by our old green bottom, which we've mostly sanded off, and that was an old ablative bottom paint. So what we did is we just went crazy with the sanders. It was a mess. It was miserable, but we sanded the whole surface of the boat, and that's uncovering, some areas where it's chipped off of the gel coat. And what we'll want to do there is put on a layer of epoxy to replace the barrier coat that was missing, because the gel coat is a semi-permeable membrane, and what can happen, especially up around the water line, is blisters, like what we're looking at here, where water gets into that gel coat, it gets trapped, and then it just forms this pocket of oozing liquid that eats away at the fiberglass. So to work out those blisters, we plan to take a Dremel tool to dig out all of the gunk to good fiberglass, and then we'll put epoxy resin. If they're bigger, I think, than 2 by 2 square inches or so, we'll put a layer of fiberglass in there to beef it up as well. So we'll fill the holes with epoxy resin, fare it out till it's smooth, and then we'll paint over the top of it. Ooh, gnarly. It smells like vinegar. So what's interesting is Jacques Mate has always leaned to the left, has always leaned to her port side, whether that's, I think it's just a distribution of weight problem on our part. And as we're going along the water line here, we're only finding blisters on this port side. We've been scraping away at the loose stuff up along here, and we found 1, I think 2, 3, 4 for sure. We still have a bit more digging to do, but there aren't that many blisters, which I think confirms that we do indeed have a barrier coat. We'd heard from a couple different people that know that this was just bare fiberglass. We didn't even have a gel coat.
And why we think it's a gel coat, Michael has a good point, is if you look right here, it looks like you can see the splatter, where it's over this gel coat was first, and then this thin layer here,
Right.
coming down, some sort of splatter that's over this fiberglass here. So.
And in the mountains of research and reading that we've been doing, I read that it's a pigmented color, and if it was bare fiberglass, I think it would just be white, right? Instead of being this pink, orangey, kind of waxy sort of coating. So 99% sure we got a gel coat. And because our boat is so old, it was built in 1974, before all of the knowledge about blistering kind of came out, we're pretty sure that she did have a barrier coat painted on as well to prevent that blistering, since it's only at the waterline.
Now what about cheese? Can we talk about cheese?
Okay, so what's next? Well, we're gonna get in there with some scrapers. We're gonna remove any remaining loose paint. We're gonna grind out our blisters so they have time to dry. And then we're gonna come at it with some layers of epoxy going over all of our gel coat.
Now we went back and forth on should we take off that entire black layer of barrier coat. At this point, no, we're not going to. A cruiser in the yard made a very good point. He came up and said, hey guys, if it's not unstuck, don't unstick it.
So that's the plan now. Stay tuned.
Lola, this is the part where you tell them to subscribe. Lola, tell them subscribe.
Subscribe!
Tell them to give us a like. Tell them they can watch you grow up right in front of their very eyes.
Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video.
No, tell them to subscribe.
I'm gonna be huge!
I think she got it.
These are the tales of Boab.